I've been wanting to make videos about things. Like, I wake up every day and I meditate and I have all of these downloads, and I'm like, there has to be people who think the same way and like have the same thoughts and everything, and or something similar. And so I just want to like talk about them, and I've been putting it off, but I know that that's what I want to do, so I'm just gonna start doing it. And I think today's download is something like a really good one, and kind of what's making me make this video today, because I was just sitting there and I was just thinking, like, all of my life I have doubted myself, and I've just never believed in myself, and I've never seen a vision for myself. And I grew up in like just not like a super positive home all of the time, and I think when like I just gave up on myself, and anything that I ever tried to do, I quit. Sports, I quit. I went to school, I quit. And I just never, once something would get like a little bit more difficult, or I would have to cross that line of like where my comfort zone was, like the minute that I would have to cross that or even consider crossing it, I would quit. And I think in the moment I knew, like, oh, I would take the leap and get started and be like, I'm ready to get started. And then once I hit a certain point, I would back out. And I just think about that all of the time, and I'm like, I never had faith in myself that I was able to do anything at all. And I always just gave up on myself. And now, and I've been saying for years, like, I'm ready for more, I'm ready for more, I'm ready for like new friendships, and I'm ready for just to create something in my life that feels good and that feels worthy. And I've always said, oh, I'm ready, but I never would do the work, and I would never, put in the work to be better, put in the work to learn and to grow and to, okay, this is what I really want to do. And now I've just been sitting here, and I've been sitting on it for a long time. I mean, it's been a couple of years that I've been wanting to just talk about things that go on in my head, knowing that there's other people with similar stories and, just a similar mindset in general. And it's like that fear of what are people gonna think, like backlash, things like that. And at the end of the day, like, you're always going to have people who don't resonate, and that's okay. Like, that's not the main focus. And I was sitting here today and I was journaling, and I was like, I'm ready for more. And I was like, I've been saying for years that I'm ready for more, and nothing ever happens. Like, why do I know what I want, but yet it hasn't come to fruition? And so many things in my life have, but there's certain things that I'm like, well, I feel like it just never comes. And I'm like, well, this year, like, I've really been putting in the work, and just knowing that, like, you can create a better life for yourself. And I was just sitting here thinking, like, wow, I know that I genuinely deserve to feel this. Like, I genuinely deserve to have this, and I actually believe that I can. And that's for the first time that I've ever felt that way. Felt like I want to start something, and I don't want to just give up on it. When it gets hard, or it gets scary, or I want to keep going, and I want to push past that wall. And I call it the wall of scaries in my head, and I kind of have it like a brick wall. And every time that I like push past it, and I push past my limiting beliefs, and I push past just like that wall that you put up that is like, that scares you from continuing, every time that I like get past something, I imagine like breaking down part of those walls and breaking those bricks away. And that's kind of like helped me realize that, like, it is possible, even if it's for something small, like waking up every day. And I didn't used to wake up every day with gratitude. It almost felt like I had to force myself to be grateful. And I don't know why. I just think that I wasn't, because things in my life weren't great. It was hard for me to feel like super grateful all the time, because I would wake up and I would have just like this anger inside of me that I carried with me everywhere that I went, and I didn't do anything about it to fix it, or I didn't realize for a long time like why it was there. And now this year I've worked so much, honestly the last like year and a half, I've worked so hard to move past those feelings of anger and move through them. And I've really lately been teaching myself how to work with that anger. Like, how do you, instead of feeling the anger and then getting more angry that I'm feeling that way, how can I work with it and navigate through it? And it's like just giving yourself grace to feel those emotions. And all of this has become part of like, I'm like, wow, I really feel just so ready to dive into something so great and do something that just genuinely feels good. And it's hard when you want to do something like that, but you don't know exactly what that is. Like, you're sitting there and you're just like, well, what is it? And I don't know exactly. And so then you get frustrated, like, how am I supposed to find out? But at the end of the day, you just have to wake up and follow your heart and do what feels good every single day, and your inner guiding system is literally leading the way. As long as you listen to it, you are going to be brought there. And whatever is meant for you is going to come to you, and as long as you're accepting of it, you're going to have it all. And like, you can create everything that you want in life. And I just think like I had that download today, and I was like, wow. And even right now I'm putting pressure on myself. I can feel that pressure in my chest. I'm like, make sure you talk clearly and make sense. And I'm like, maybe I'm all over the place. Like, I don't know. Like, I just want to say what feels right. And I think I just realized that like, if you can just believe in yourself even just a little bit, it's gonna get you far. And taking one step today that you didn't take yesterday takes you one step closer to what you want. It's like working out. It's like anything. Like, you want to work out, and so you go to the gym one day, and you're not going to come home like having the body that you want after one day. It takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes work. And as long as you just keep waking up and doing those things every day, like, you're going to reach your goals, and like, you're going to have everything that you want. And it's just waking up and being grateful that you even have the opportunity to do that. And like, just feeling it now, like feeling the gratitude for everything that you have, even when it is hard, or even when it isn't exactly the way that you want it right in this moment. Just having gratitude for the space that you're in now, that is getting you to where you're meant to be in the future. And so just waking up every day worrying like about just that present moment, because that's the only moment that we have. And it's just taught me like all of this gratitude, and genuinely feeling it in my heart. All of this gratitude has taught me to give gratitude to the girl that I was years ago, who didn't feel like this, and who didn't treat people the greatest, and who made mistakes. And I held so much guilt in my heart for so long for the person that I used to be. And I used to hold like anger and just like resentment towards her. And learning to give your past self grace and love, and knowing that that's just where you were meant to be in that moment, even though it didn't feel great then, knowing now that that's all part of the process, and it was teaching you, because now you're in this moment and you're feeling that gratitude, and you can turn back and you can give that version of you love and care. And I think that's just so important. And my past self she's healing, because I'm finally loving her, and I know that it's hard, but once you can open your heart up and just admit that that wasn't the best version of me, when you try and when you kind of just suppress those feelings, and you kind of just, you don't want to let them come to the surface because they're hard, you're making it even harder. So when you can let those hard things come to the surface of your heart and of your mind and allow yourself to just feel it and let yourself cry, let yourself feel all of those things, because I know it's so hard. But it's for, at the end of the day, after you release those emotions, you finally can let it go. I read this one book every time I kind of feel like lost, and the last time I read it's The Untethered Soul. I know a lot of people have read it, but it really resonated with me, and I've read it like 3 times now in the last few years. Like every time I kind of feel like I've lost myself, I come back to that book because I read it and it just brings you back to like the basics of things. And you know, like there was this one story in it, and it was like, oh, you're driving down the road and you see like a red Mustang, and it was like his ex-girlfriend like hurt him in a way, and he saw her in a red Mustang with a guy, and so now when he sees a red Mustang, like those feelings that he used to feel with his ex come to the surface. And you know, when something like that happens, when you see something from your past and it triggers you and you get that similar feeling, even if it was from years ago, it's because you still have suppressed emotions built up in there, and you know, you didn't actually fully let them go. And so when those moments arise, take them and use them to your advantage. You know, realize like, wow, I'm feeling this way right now because I didn't let go all the way, like because I haven't healed. And you know, it is hard. Like you may have to heal about the same thing over and over and over. You know, like it may take a while, but every time those feelings do come up, giving yourself grace and giving yourself that space to let it come and let it just move through you, you know, and do whatever you need to do to move that energy, whether it's dancing or going to the gym or going on a walk or listening to music or cleaning the house, whatever it is, to say, I know that I'm feeling this way, so let me do something to move this energy and allow it to move through me, because I don't want to keep feeling this way. You know, every single time I see this particular thing or I feel this particular thing, like I want to be able to move through it. And it's possible, and I know it's hard. There's never like, you know, it's not meant to be easy, but I think when you can do the hard things, you're also proving to yourself that you like understand yourself. And I think you're learning about your emotions and you're teaching yourself ways to cope and how to get through things in a healthy way. And it took me so long to get to this point and to realize, and I still teach myself every day new ways of how to get through things. And you know what I mean? Like how I wake up one day and I feel a certain way and I'm like, wow, I don't feel like this very often. I'm not sure how to help myself. Okay, well, what do I need to do today? Like, what do I feel like may help me in this moment? And my thing is normally laundry or like going on a walk or meditating. Meditating always kind of grounds my energy, but even the last couple of days it's been hard to get into like a meditative state. And then I'll get angry at myself because I'm like, why can I not rest? Why can I not let myself sit down and really dive deep and get into that state? And there's just something in me stopping me. And so I have to let myself feel that feeling of, why am I not letting myself dive deeper? You know, what am I afraid of? Like just anything. And so I know this was kind of like a random rant, but this is kind of just like the vibe that I want to be going towards, like whatever feels right, and just knowing that I do deserve to have the life that I want. And like even when it's hard and even when it's scary, like at the end of it, you know, everything is like that. So I just want to talk about, you know, things that come to my mind and like the downloads that I have throughout the day, and because they can get so intense and they're so real, and I can feel that I want to share them so much. So thank you.